Hey guys, what's up? It is Danny, Trader Bay, Danny Swings coming to you. Someone requested that I do this, and so here we are, and it's called a trade recap. So basically, they want to know the justification, like what is my mind thinking when I get into these plays, and I'm going to drop it for you. What my mind was thinking on this 500 percenter that I got with NVDIA, which you will see a picture of that 500% here in a second, okay? So with Nvidia on the daily time frame, I started looking at her. We were falling last week. We had this swing high here on Friday, January 30th, where we went up and then we came back down, which to me is like a failed two. And I liked that indication. Now, what I could have done on that failed two, I could have swung puts for that entire week, but I did not. I'm more of a bullish mindset and bias here. So I was like, I'll wait. So we pushed down and then we got here to Thursday. I want to say Thursday of whoa, was that last week? Yes. Thursday of last week. And that's where I said, okay, like that caught my attention. That really caught my attention. This area right here. I can't say that they're equal lows, but we wicked at the opening price right there. So I'm like, okay, bet that up. Like that caught my attention. Like we're probably gonna stop here. Okay, so I didn't know that we were gonna stop there, but that was my guess, right? That was like my technical analysis of we've swung in between these 2 points now for freaking since November. We've been in between here just going back and forth and back and forth. So when I saw us hit this point that was relatively matching up with these other two previous rejections, finding support here in this area, this is where my ears perked up. Okay. So I marked that. I actually had an alert set here. The alert was removed. And I actually signaled this. So I signaled this over in FMP trades. And then I signaled it inside of my Risk to Riches Discord inside of my Swings channel. And the signal was for NVIDIA 202 calls, expiration 213 26. Okay. And then I also gave take profits. So I got the 202 call. Do I think that we're going to 202 this week? I don't, but anything is possible with the administration that we have. They could say like one good thing and NVIDIA could run for like $500. No, I'm just kidding, but sort of, not really. Okay. So with that being said, I took that 202 because I always take these trades based off of small account status. Like I make it feasible for the people who are following the trades or wanting to join in with me to be able to join. So the cool thing about that is if you are a person that can size in heavier, you could have gotten that 202 call. You could have purchased like five of those because I want to say that they were, which I purchased like more. I had multiple contracts, but I want to say that they were somewhere around, let me see. I didn't tell the price. I think they're around like 25 or $30. I'm not too sure. One of the two. Okay. So, anywho, you're going to be like, well, how did you find these take profits? How did you know that this is where you wanted to go? Well, it's the easy. I take profits at previous support and resistance levels. It's that simple. Literally, as you can see, a lot of my areas are at where you see them placed are where wicks came and touched. And so, in a nutshell, I'm not going to go too far into that because that's something that I teach about. That's something that you can come to the Discord and learn. Join for free, come learn. All right. So, anywho, on this day here, which was Friday, February the 6th, I probably got into my NVIDIA play around the 3 o'clock hour. I love to get into my over the weekend stuff around 3 to 3:45. Okay. That's like my little thing that I like to do. And so I got into the play and I was looking at my first take profit and there it is there. I'm like, okay, cool. Then I have my second take profit. As you can see, like I said, it served as a level of resistance. Then my third take profit also served as levels of resistance. My fourth take profit here served as a resistance there. And then my fifth one is that swing high. So I'm aiming for at least this swing high, this take profit five by Friday. As you can see, we're over half the way there and it's only freaking Monday. So with that being said, this turned into a 500% trade. This was signaled in two different locations, maybe even three. I might have signaled it over in the member ideas for impact. And this is how I take my swing trades. I like to see us hit the swing high. And once we get to a low and we wick, I look to the left to see if there's other references for this low point. If there aren't, if these were not here, and let's say they were actually lower, I would, in my mind, think that we have a little bit more room to go, and I would not have gotten into that call. But the fact that we wicked in an area that seems to be familiar a little bit, I decided this should be a good spot. Now, when I'm coming into swings, another thing I like to do is set a take profit, but then also a stop loss. So my stop loss is definitely for 50% of Friday's candle. Okay, so the halfway point of Friday's candle is what I'm willing to give up. But I'm gonna be real with you. That's funny that I say that because honestly speaking, in my take profit stop loss order on Webull, they're both set to be where I come out with profit. So I always set my take profit and my stop loss to stop me out in profit or to take profit, either one. But I still have like a mental stop loss of, if we don't reach that area, even if it triggers my TPSL. Let's say it triggers that, but we're still way above this. I may do a re-entry and play this play again, or do the move to the downside if we have strong momentum to break under this 50%. So that is my trade recap for my NVIDIA 500 percenter that a couple of other people took a lot of other people took with me and did very well off of. And then I'm also going to do something a little cool and give you another trade idea with this one. Okay. So we're going to take a look at PLTR. So PLTR is doing the exact same thing that um, NVIDIA did for me, where we hit this low, right? So I'm gonna kind of reference back and see if I can find another. Well, would you look at that, Morty? Boom, right there. So there's a high possibility that this level of support is going to be support as we go back into swing highs. So looking at PLTR now, okay, where do I want to see us go? We broke over Friday's high, so I want to see us at least swing up to this high right here at 155.81 by Friday. We may not do that. That's totally fine. My stop loss again would be 50% of the previous day that, I'm looking at. So basically where our wick is for today on PLTR, that's my stop loss. We get back down to that wick, I'm not interested. Other than that, we ride out till dawn, or we ride at dawn, or whichever one you want to say. So there's an idea, a trade idea for PLTR. Of course, take what is affordable for you and your account size. And again, now we're looking at this swing high of 155.81 by Friday. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this to my podcast world. I'm going to upload this over on Day Trading with Danny podcast as well so that you can listen along. I would just say that, and now here's the disclaimer, pull up your charts, but make sure that you have your charts open so you can see what I'm talking about. And then we will go from there. I thank you guys so much for your love and support. I have reached over 100, oh, no, I'm sorry, over, is it 1,000 downloads for my podcast show, and I am sitting at 1150 followers, or Discord members, I should say, and 4K followers over on TikTok, and all this other cool stuff. Like all of my pages are just exploding with the audience for trade, and I love it here. So again, thank you so much for your love and support. I really appreciate you guys, and that's it for today. I hope you learned something, and I'll be back to talk to you soon. Bye, guys.